passport officer who was distinguishing himself by wearing something. He was rude. The third point I want to put it in my conclusion, or the third point I want to put it in my conclusion, is a statement of your National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice when she visited Israel, and she was giving statements, and she was saying her personal opinion about the history and the greatness of the people there and the greatness of the history, and she was saying her personal opinion, which is she's entitled to, and everybody is entitled to his point of view, and no one is perfect. But my point of view is that when she said Israel is the key for the world peace and security. Peace and security of Israel means peace and security in the whole world. Now this is a statement from the security advisor of your nation. This is clearly taking part to someone who is in a conflict with someone else. In the same time, this one who is taking part with one party of a conflict, saying that he is trying to solve the conflict. Now, just go back to my first point, or my first area, and trying to explain my culture to you, that we understand and feel. Do you accept to tie your national peace and security to a named country which is already in a conflict in that totality way? You just tie it to the security and peace of that particular country? This is a question left to you. But as far as our culture is concerned, I think he have the right to conclude that this is not fair and not right. I want to tell you shortly a story happened many years ago in our history, and it is regarding a scholar whose name is Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and because he is a distinguished scholar, we called him Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Now, this Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal has a lot of point of views. Some agree with it, others do not agree with it. Some like him, some do not like him as much, but everyone do respect him. And he lived in an era of the Islamic Khilafah, and there was one Khalifa whose name is Ma'mun. He was believing in the point that Quran is not a revelation but is a creature. And we have discussed this point before when I discussed the constitution. This particular Imam, he just refused to accept the idea, and he was saying his opinion, which is, and he said it in public, that this is not right and this is wrong, and we know that now that he is right. That's an anonymous now agreement between Muslims that he is right, that Quran is not a creature, and whatever said by the Ma'mun was not right. Excuse me. Now Al-Ma'mun was supporting everyone who is supporting his opinion, and his officials were torturing and imprisoning those who are different from him. And Ahmad ibn Hanbal was one of them. He was imprisoned and tortured because he did not accept the point of opinion that Quran is a creature. Few years, and then that Khalifa died, and another Khalifa came, and the officials of the previous one sort of changed, and things goes back to normal. When he died, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, more than 2 million people followed his funeral. When I say this story shortly, it seems irrelevant to our point. But the relevance I'm saying here, that our culture has the experience of someone who is trying to implement an ideology by force. It did not work. It vanished, and it became just a nightmare which is past and has no effect. Our culture standard the experience of someone who tried to implement an ideology by force. And that led me to the conclusion, saying that using the strength and force to implement an ideology did not work and has never worked throughout the history and the presence, and surely in the future of our culture. However, using the power of trying to understand before being understood has worked and is working and will work. This is an important statement to end my message to you, dear Americans, with. Finally, and before saying goodbye, surely you have noticed some or a lot of imperfections in this tape. Sound quality and alike. But this is just to make it homemade. And it is homemade. And please, I want to stress a point, that I'm not trying to say that I am right, neither saying that you are wrong. This is an opinion from a personal perspective. I wanted to say it to you. Do not please be offended by anything that you didn't like in this tape. It's not meant to be offending. So, by that I want to say goodbye and have a nice day. Goodbye.